it's not just about stopping the flow. That's just the starting point. The main focus should always be in finding new meaning in the life that you're going to lead, looking for a purpose that you find really valuable, and looking for a solid direction in life. And that meaning and that value will give you that solid direction. Everyone goes through the struggle to understand themselves in one form or another. Everyone finds difficulty in giving their lives over to a purpose, because people think, well, if I do this, then I can't do that. And that's right. You've got to discriminate in this world. You've got to put some things in front of you and leave other things behind you in order to do anything. Otherwise you'll do nothing. There's always more questions in this life than there are answers. And everyone, regardless of the background, regardless of their circumstances, grapples with these questions to some extent. The older I get, the more I understand, the more knowledge I get, the more I understand how much I don't know. How many questions there are out there that just have got no answers to them, and that's okay, Sometimes I feel like I'm constantly searching for meaning, but that's okay as well. I found enough meaning and enough purpose in my life to help me move on to the next level, and to help me to think a bit deeper about myself and my life. I'm in a very good place, mentally speaking, a much better place to be able to deal with some of the broader existential questions in my life, right? Much better than I ever was when I was drinking. That was no place. It was no good place to be in. Real quick, we've a few places left on our private 30-day coaching group. We start on Monday. I'll be with you every step of the way. Lots of group video calls, my private WhatsApp number, and you can even get it for free. The link is in the description if you're interested. If you're starting out in this journey, I want you to see that alcohol is not the enemy. It's just a chemical, a liquid in a bottle that will do you no harm until it gets into your body. And it will never get into your body unless you pick it up and put it there, right? So who's the real enemy? And I'm not suggesting that you have to look at yourself as the enemy. But if you don't know who the enemy is or what the enemy is, then how are you going to fight it? The enemy here is the habit. It's the behavior. It's when you look at something like that as the habit, as the behavior, that is the enemy. Then it's something that you can alter. It's something that you can change. And it's as simple as that. The habit uses alcohol, or alcohol is part of the habit. It's the thing that gives the habit its fuel, if you like. It's the means to the end. But if the alcohol is not there, then another means will be found. Another means will be required to get to that same end. Because if you're looking for the same end through the same channel, then you're going to have to find another tool if you take the alcohol out of it. So it's why so many people who are unplugging themselves for alcohol start looking around for another drug to plug themselves back into. I hear weed all the time, And people justify that by saying, well, it's not as bad as alcohol. It depends what your perspective is and what way you're looking at it. Your victory is never found in battling the enemy on its own terms, right? But in this case, refusing to engage on its own terms, right? In a sense, this is about kind of reclaiming your own power, making your own conscious choices, taking control of your life. And you take control by breaking the habit. If you swap drugs, then you're not breaking the habit. We can't always control the external circumstances of our lives, but we always have the power to shape how we respond, what decisions we're going to make. And ultimately, our decisions are going to lead to the destinations that we're going to arrive at, When you look back, and hindsight is a great thing, when you look back and you can see 2020, well, I'm here because I made that choice and that choice and that choice. Sometimes it's not as clear, but, I always knew that alcohol was the reason why I was in so much shit in my life, and I proved that by stopping it. And once I stopped it, hey presto. But, the path that you need to take might not always be very clear to you. And it's okay to feel lost at times, but it's in these moments of searching, of grappling with some of the biggest questions in your life, that you're going to find the most profound truths about yourself and about your own life. You know, it takes a bit of courage and a commitment to step over that line, and the journey is about self-discovery as much as anything else. You know, keeping moving forwards, keeping asking questions, and trusting that the answers are going to come to you in time. Thank you. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.